Let me ask you something. How many times have you felt yourself shrinking just to keep someone in your life? You lowered your standards. You over-explained yourself. You double-texted. You waited for calls that never came. And deep down, you knew you were doing too much for someone doing the bare minimum. Let me make this clear. The moment you beg for love, you lose your power. The second you chase someone, you start abandoning yourself. And every time you play games just to stay in someone's life, you're silently telling the world, I don't believe I'm enough on my own. But what if I told you there's another way? No begging, no chasing, no texting first just to feel worthy, no games to stay relevant. Just one simple shift that changes everything. You start choosing you. Because when you stop proving yourself to others, you finally start proving something to yourself. And that's where the real power lives. 1. Focus on your energy, not their attention. Let me tell you a truth that will change how you operate in life. Attention is cheap. Energy is power. See, most people walk around addicted to attention. They crave the text, the call, the like, the reply. They feel high when someone notices them and low when they're ignored. But here's the thing. Attention doesn't mean respect. Attention doesn't mean love. Attention doesn't even mean you're valued. Sometimes, people give you attention just to keep you around, not because they truly care. That's why the strongest move you can make is to stop chasing their attention and start protecting your energy. Think about it. Your energy is your presence. It's your mindset. It's the way you walk into a room. It's how you carry yourself when no one is clapping, no one is noticing, and no one is checking up on you. That's your real value. Let them wonder why you disappeared. Let them question why you stopped reaching out. Let them sit in their silence while you build your peace. Because when you focus on your energy, you start asking better questions. Does this person add peace or confusion to my life? Does this conversation lift me or drain me? Do I feel more alive or less after spending time with them? That's the power of choosing energy over attention. You no longer react to what they're doing. You build a life that's so strong, so full, so whole, that their attention becomes irrelevant. You don't chase what you don't need. You don't beg for what you already give yourself. And you don't play games when you're already playing for legacy. So focus on your energy. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because it does. 2. Silence is a superpower. Use it. Most people don't know this, but silence is one of the most underestimated weapons you will ever carry. See, when you're silent, you're not weak, you're not passive, you're not backing down, you're observing, you're thinking, you're calculating, and most importantly, you're protecting your power. Too often we speak just to fill the silence. We text back just to feel relevant. We explain ourselves to people who already made up their minds. We argue to prove we're right, even when the outcome doesn't matter. But silence does something different. It forces people to sit with their own behavior. It makes them question what they said. It exposes who they really are, without you having to say a single word. And here's the truth. People respect what you don't give away so easily. When you don't react, they start wondering. When you don't chase, they start noticing. When you don't respond to every little jab, you become untouchable. Because silence isn't empty. It's full of clarity, full of confidence, full of self-respect. Imagine someone disrespects you. Instead of firing back, you say nothing. You keep walking. You keep working. That's power. That's you saying, I'm too focused on my peace to entertain this noise. Silence makes space. It creates mystery. And in that mystery, people start seeing what they lost, what they overlooked, what they took for granted. But most importantly, silence gives you time to choose your response, not just react. Because reacting is emotional, but responding, that's intentional. So the next time you feel like jumping in, defending yourself, proving your worth, stop, breathe, stay silent, and let the silence say what words never could. Your calm is your power. Your silence is your sword. Use it wisely. 3. When you stop chasing, you start leading. There's a moment in life where you finally get tired. Tired of trying, tired of explaining, tired of overreaching for people who won't meet you halfway. And in that moment, something powerful happens. You stop chasing. Now don't confuse this with giving up. Stopping the chase isn't surrender. It's self-respect. It's the decision to stop running toward people who keep stepping back. It's the moment you say, I will no longer convince anyone to see my worth. Because here's the truth. Leaders don't chase, they attract. Think about the people you admire. They're not desperate, they're disciplined. They move with purpose. They're focused on becoming. And in that energy, the right people naturally come toward them. When you stop chasing love, you make room for respect. When you stop chasing validation, you build real confidence. When you stop chasing people, you start leading a life they'll eventually want to follow. Why? Because your attention becomes rare, your energy becomes expensive, and your presence starts to mean something. The moment you stop chasing is the moment your entire energy shifts. You start walking different. You stop texting people who only reply out of convenience. You stop calling people who never check in. You stop explaining your worth to people who treat it like a debate. Instead, you work on you. You grow. You evolve. You stay focused on your goals, your peace, your mission, and something wild happens. The same people who ignored you start noticing. The same ones who took you for granted start wondering. But by then you're too busy building, too far ahead to look back. Because leaders don't look for seats at someone else's table. They build their own. They don't need to prove anything. Their results speak for them. And they don't chase. Because real value doesn't beg. It becomes undeniable. So stop chasing. Start leading. And remember, the most attractive thing you'll ever do is respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that makes you forget your worth. 4. Respect is earned by how you treat yourself. Let me ask you something. How do you expect others to respect you if you don't respect yourself? See, respect isn't something you demand with your words. It's something you teach with your actions. People learn how to treat you by watching how you treat you. They watch how you speak about yourself, how you carry yourself, how you set boundaries, or fail to, how you react when you're tested, overlooked, or disrespected. So if you're constantly lowering your standards just to keep the peace, if you're always saying yes to things you don't want just to be liked, if you make excuses for people who don't show up for you, you're not being kind. You're being unavailable to yourself. And the message you're sending is loud and clear. I don't require much to be in my life. But the moment you start holding yourself to a higher standard, everything shifts. You stop tolerating half-hearted effort. You stop waiting around for people to change. You stop begging for the bare minimum. Because now you give yourself what you used to hope someone else would. That's when people notice. That's when the energy changes. Not because you told them to respect you, but because your life became the evidence that you respect you. It starts with the way you talk to yourself when no one's listening. The goals you pursue without needing applause. The way you take care of your body, your peace, your purpose. Respect comes when you say, I matter. My time matters. My peace matters. And when you start honoring that consistently, you stop being available for anything or anyone that doesn't. Think of it this way. You are the standard. You are the boundary. You are the example. So set it high, live it loud. And remember this, the world mirrors back to you the value you place on yourself. Treat yourself like someone worth showing up for, and others will either rise to meet you or fall away. Either way, you win. 5. Heal what makes you desperate. Let's get honest for a second. Desperation doesn't come from your needs. It comes from your wounds. You're not texting them again because you just care too much. You're not begging for their time because they're so amazing. You're not chasing validation because you're weak. You're doing it because something inside you still believes you're not enough on your. Somewhere deep in your story, someone made you feel small. Someone made love conditional. Someone taught you that silence meant punishment, that attention meant safety, that your worth had to be earned. And now as an adult, you keep repeating those same emotional patterns, thinking if you just give more, if you're patient enough, if you prove yourself enough, then maybe, just maybe, you'll finally be chosen. But here's the truth. You don't need to be chosen. You need to be healed. Because healed people don't chase, beg, or settle. They attract. They align. They allow. They know that love isn't something you squeeze out of someone who's not ready. Respect isn't something you earn by shrinking. And your value doesn't rise or fall based on who accepts you or ignores you. So if you find yourself begging for a reply, Overthinking every message. Lowering your worth to stay in someone's life. Stop. Ask yourself, what wound am I trying to soothe through this person? Maybe it's the abandonment that never got addressed. Maybe it's the self-doubt you never healed. Maybe it's the part of you that's still seeking your worth in someone else's reflection. But I'll tell you this, no person can fix what you refuse to face. You have to go in. You have to feel the discomfort. You have to sit with the silence long enough to realize that your own company is not empty. It's sacred. Healing isn't a straight line. Some days you'll want to call. Some nights you'll feel the ache. But healing is choosing yourself again and again until your self-worth becomes louder than your loneliness. Because once you heal what makes you desperate, you'll stop begging to be seen and start becoming someone who can no longer be ignored. You'll stop needing closure from and give yourself the peace they could never offer. You'll stop proving yourself because healed people know, I'm already enough and I won't chase anyone to remember. 6. Stop talking, start doing. You've probably heard this 1,000 times. But let me remind you, talk doesn't build dreams, action does. There's a subtle trap many of us fall into. We get stuck in the endless cycle of planning, explaining and convincing others of what we will do, while actually doing very little. You tell people about your goals, your visions. You talk about changing your life, about growing, about succeeding. But talking doesn't change a thing. See, when you spend more time talking than doing, what happens? You start seeking validation from others, needing their approval to feel motivated. You open the door for doubt and distraction. You give yourself permission to delay the real work. But here's the truth that too many avoid. Your future doesn't care about your excuses. It only responds to your action. If you want a new life, new habits, new success, you have to show up even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, even when nobody's watching. Silence the noise around you, the doubter, the naysayer, the expert telling you to wait for the right moment, because the right moment is now. Right now. Start small if you have to. One step forward counts more than 1,000 words. Every action you take builds momentum. Every time you choose doing over talking, you send a powerful message to yourself. I am serious about my growth. I am serious about my life. And soon, others will see it too. Not because you told them, but because you showed them. Remember, the strongest people don't brag about their efforts. They let their results speak for themselves. So stop talking about what you're going to do tomorrow, next week, or next year. Stop looking for permission or perfect condition. Stop trying to convince anyone. Just start and keep starting, because progress is your proof and action is your power. 7. Give yourself what you're looking for in others. Here's a simple but powerful truth that can change everything for you. You cannot expect to find in others what you haven't already given to yourself. Think about it. We often search outside for approval, respect, love, and validation, hoping someone else will fill that emptiness or silence those doubts inside. But when you're constantly looking for others to make you feel worthy or whole, you hand over your power. You become dependent on their moods, their choices, their willingness to show up. But what if you flip the script? What if instead of waiting to be accepted or loved by someone else, you started by giving those things to yourself? Respect yourself. First, set boundaries that honor your time and your speak to your inner voice. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Show up for yourself consistently, even when no one. When you get stop chasing empty promises or tries to fix relationships that drain you. Here's an analogy. Imagine your heart is a cup. If your cup is empty, you'll keep running to others, hoping they'll fill it. But if you fill your own cup first, you approach relationships from a place of fullness, not neediness. This shift changes how you interact to you. It's separate for to shiven. You're no longer anxious about acceptance. You're no longer scared being alone. You're complete. And the most beautiful part, when you give yourself what you're looking for, others, you start attracting people who reflect that same energy. People who respect you because you respect you. To shiven because you respect you. People who love to shiven because you love yourself first. So today, ask yourself, what am I expecting from others that I'm not giving to myself? Then start giving it right now. Because the path to real connection, peace, and fulfillment starts with the relationship you have with you. The right people never make you chase. Let me be clear. Be clear. Stop and rethink. The right people in you leave you wondering if you don't feed. They don't play games that leave you confused or anxious. They don't make you beg for a seat at their table or chase after their love. Instead, the right people show up consistently. They make an effort to be part of your life, not because they have to, but because they want to. Their actions align with their words. Their respect is unwavering, not conditional. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how the people who truly value you make things easy? Conversations flow naturally. Plans don't require endless persuasion. Boundaries are respected without drama. Chasing, on the other hand, is exhausting. It drains your energy. It lowers your self-worth, and it keeps you stuck in a cycle of uncertainty and disappointment. Here's the secret. The right people don't need to be chased because they recognize your worth immediately. They appreciate your time and effort as a gift, not an obligation. They want you in their lives as much as you want them in yours. So if you're spending your energy chasing someone who constantly leaves you waiting or questioning, remind yourself, you deserve better. You deserve relationships built on mutual respect and genuine care. Stop chasing. Stop proving your worth. Step back and watch what happens. Because when you stop chasing, something incredible happens. You start attracting. You attract people who see your value without hesitation. People who bring peace, not confusion. People who match your energy without conditions. Remember, chasing isn't love or respect. It's insecurity dressed up as hope. And hope, without action, is just wishful thinking. The right people will meet you halfway. Or even better, they'll walk beside you without you having to run after them. So today, decide this. No more chasing, only attracting. Only those who choose you freely, consistently, and fully. Your time and energy are precious. Don't waste them chasing after anyone who doesn't see that. So here's the truth. I want you to walk away with today. You are worthy of respect, love, and attention, without begging, chasing, texting, or playing games. When you focus on your own energy, protect your peace, and give yourself what you truly need, you stop being a player in someone else's game. Instead, you become the player in your own life, the one who leads with confidence, the one who attracts the right people effortlessly, the one who commands respect without saying a word. Remember, no more begging, no more chasing, no more texting, hoping for a reply, no more games. Just this, show up as your highest self, stand firm in your worth, and let everything else fall into place. Because when you do, life rewards you in ways you never imagined. Now it's your turn. Take this message to heart. Make the choice to stop chasing and start living on your own terms. The power is already inside you, just waiting for you to unleash it. So go ahead, step into that power. No begging, no chasing, no texting, no games. Just do this and watch your life change.